Let's talk all about our couples trip to Disneyland for Sweethearts Night. Hey friends, my name's Corina. I'm a wife and mama to 2 kiddos, and our family loves visiting Disneyland in California and bringing you guys along to share in all of the magic. This trip is going to be a little different. My husband and I are heading to Disneyland on a couples trip. We are heading to Sweethearts Night at Disneyland, which is an after-hours event that is exclusive to Disneyland, and I am so excited. I've wanted to go to this event for several years. It just was never really in our schedule as a family to go to it. And my husband and I usually do our couples trip in the fall for our anniversary. We decided to change things up a little bit this year because we honestly have not been really able to focus on date nights as much as we like to. We like to prioritize a date night at least once a month, usually twice a month if we can get away with it. We usually will do things like lunch dates here and there as well, when there's like a slower work week or something. But things have just been so crazy for us in this last year that those things have been really sacrificed. And so we decided to go ahead and take just a few days and kind of make up for lost time, so to speak, by having not date night, but like a date weekend getaway. So we're heading to Sweethearts Night for the first time ever. And I'm also super excited because it's going to be Lunar New Year celebration going on in Disney California Adventure. And I've also really wanted to attend that event and see kind of everything they have for Lunar New Year. So today I want to talk to you guys about our itinerary, what our plans are for this special couples time. So whenever I plan a trip, I do like to make an itinerary for us. That way I have a good idea of things we want to accomplish and see and do as we're heading into our trip. But our itinerary tends to be pretty fluid and does fluctuate from what our initial plans are to kind of what really ends up happening. That is definitely true when we are traveling with our kiddos, but honestly, sometimes hubby and I will kind of change our mind midstream as well during our trip. So this itinerary may not be set in stone, but we'll be able to compare and contrast from the trip vlogs and see kind of what it is that we end up actually keeping from the itinerary and what gets sacrificed. I think for the most part, everything will probably stay the same. I will kind of talk about what I think might fluctuate a little bit, but really it's going to be pretty solid planning because of the after hours event. So let's get into day one is our travel day. We will be heading down to Anaheim in the afternoon. We are flying for this trip, which is different. We usually drive because we do live in California. So it's usually more cost effective if we're going with the whole family. Since it's just hubby and I, it's more cost effective to actually fly. It honestly came out to be pretty much a wash for us to fly versus driving. And honestly, flying down just saves so much time for our travel day. So we decided to go ahead and fly. On our day one, we will arrive in the evening, kind of around dinner time. And so we're planning to go into DCA, California Adventure, and get started with our Lunar New Year lanyard. So I am so excited to see Lunar New Year and see all of the festivities that are going on. But I really want to get that lanyard and be able to start redeeming some of those tickets or tokens on the lanyard. On your lanyard, basically you get a lanyard for this dining event, and then you can go around to the different food booths. You can order all of your items at one booth, and then you just pick them up at different booths. But you can also order things throughout, basically the entire time that Lunar New Year is going on. So if you are going for, say, a week or a long weekend or something like we're doing, then you can go ahead and get your lanyard and get a couple things, the first day, a couple things the following day, however it is you want to kind of work out the system. But you don't have to use everything in that one day. You can space it out throughout the time of your trip, as long as you use up your, little redeem tabs within Lunar New Year schedule. And that is the same for any of the food festivals. In California, you can use your little lanyard throughout the time of the food festival. So that's our first point. Our first goal is to get our Lunar New Year lanyards and start trying some of the yummy things. So that will probably be our dinner that night. We'll be just trying some festival foods. I don't anticipate that we'll actually see all of the festival activities this day because we'll be getting in the evening, and usually things for certain festivals kind of end or taper off in the early afternoon. So just planning for that, but we do want to go into DCA, go ahead and get our lanyard, kind of start having some little bites, and then kind of see what else we want to do. I know we want to go to the Grand Californian to see what kind of decorations they have there. They usually do something for Lunar New Year and for special events. They usually have something pretty big in the lobby. So we want to go see that and check that out. Then we'll head back to our hotel, which we are going to stay at the Howard Johnson Anaheim. We stayed there for one night on our last trip, which was our holiday trip, and we really enjoyed our stay. So we decided to go ahead and book there for the long weekend. Even though we won't have the kids with us, and they did love the water park. The prices honestly were very good, and the walk was really good as well. So we felt like may as well stay there. We did like it, so we will see what it's like to be in a little bit of a different room, and I will be able to share a room tour and all of that with you guys as well. Let's talk about day 2, which is the following day, and this will be the day that we go to Sweethearts Night. So we are magic key holders. Our family is like the 4 of us, and so we have the opportunity to book park reservations throughout our entire stay. We did work out well that we don't have any blockout dates during this trip. So every day of our trip, we were able to book a park reservation. So we do plan to go to Disneyland in the morning, and my goal is for us to rope drop. So that means to get there early, like right at opening. So that'll be around 8 o'clock that day. And my goal for our morning for Disneyland is to get all of the rides in that we want to experience for that day. And then also to order our foods and treats that we want to try for Sweethearts Night. This is one of the biggest recommendations that I've seen for Sweethearts Night, is to order your food and snacks early and not wait until the actual event starts. You can order your food and snacks honestly as long as you're like within distance of like the GPS essentially. You can honestly like order things for pickup at Disneyland pretty much wherever you are. You just have to, go and redeem them, pick them up at the window, and then that's when you're charged for it and the order goes through. So the helpful tip is to go ahead and order all of your treats and snacks beforehand, and that's what we plan to do. So I will do that in the morning. We are kind of going to go over like what things we're most interested in. I think I have a pretty good idea of what those are already, but if there's anything special or anything that we see as we're there, we'll go ahead and add it to our order, and we'll be good to go. We do plan to take a midday rest this day and to change into our Sweethearts Night outfits. So we are going to go in a theme as a couple, one of our favorite Disney couples. So we will get dressed up for that. And then we will head back into the park. Our goal is to be in Disneyland around 4 o'clock. And the reason for this is that because we're magic key holders, we are able to make that park reservation and be in the parks the whole day. We want to make sure that we get in early enough so that we can start lining up for things that are priorities to us. So when we get in at 4, we plan to have like a late lunch, early dinner. And we will probably go to Plaza Inn for that meal because we adore Plaza Inn so much. We love the fried chicken there. I really like the salmon dish there. I've had their like brisket that they have there. I can't remember what exactly it's called, but it was good. Mine was just like a little chewy the last time I had it, so not their best batch, but overall the food there is really delicious, and there is a treat that we want to try there. So figured we may as well put it on the schedule for this day to have dinner there and to get, a meal out of the way before the event starts. That is another tip that I've heard, is to make sure that you're not focused on eating dinner during the event hours. Now, Sweethearts Night does actually start at 9 o'clock. It goes from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m., but the mix-in hours are between 6 and 9. So what that means is when you buy a ticket to Sweethearts Night or a special event, there's going to be a mix-in hours where you can enter the park at that time, but there's also going to be daytime guests still in the park. So for Sweethearts Nights, that is going to be between 6 and 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, all of the daytime guests should be trickling out and the event for Sweethearts Night actually begin. However, since we will be in the parks early, we can actually get like our lanyard and all of our material to say that we're part of the event at 6 o'clock within the park. I do think that it's pretty normal for them to let people in a little bit early for the event. So it could be as early as 5:30 that we'd be able to get like our credentials to be at the event, which I think is like a lanyard and a bracelet maybe. And then we'd be able to go line up for the things that are our priorities for the event. Our number one priority for this is merch. My husband has become a big pin collector and it has trickled down into all of our family. And so we want to prioritize getting the pin for Sweethearts Night. And I know from seeing previous years that getting the merch is, if that's a priority to you, you need to make sure that it's something like you do right away, first thing. So that's going to be the first thing that we do, is get in line for merch to make sure that we are not going to miss it and it's going to sell out. So that's our first goal. Our other things that are priorities are the snacks, which I said I will go ahead and mobile order early in the day. We also do want to do a couple of character meet and greets, and we want to see the cavalcade. I know there's also going to be like karaoke and some other fun things. There's like a dance party going on. So anything that we can add into the schedule throughout the night will be things that we go ahead and do. But we did want to make sure we prioritize a few things, which are going to be the merch, getting the snacks we want to try, character meets, and seeing the cavalcade for the event. Those are the top 4 things that we want to make sure and do during the event, and honestly, everything else will be gravy. All right, so that's day 2, and that's Sweethearts Night. Like I said, the event goes till 1 in the morning. My husband is very much a night owl, and so I'm sure that we will probably be there until 1 in the morning. I will probably just be like throwing back Cokes, honestly, to keep myself going throughout the event. But I'm really excited and looking forward to this experience. So day 3, we are going to head to Disney California Adventure, and we're going to focus on Lunar New Year activities and specialty things that are going on. Because Sweethearts Night does go pretty late, I don't know that we'll actually be up for like rope drop the next day, but we usually do still get up pretty early. So we'll probably be there around like 9:30 or 10. I would love to get in early enough to get breakfast at DCA. So that means we'd have to be there around 9:30 because they do stop serving breakfast around 10:30. But there's a few breakfast items that I really want to try. So my priorities are to get into DCA, get breakfast, and then do some Lunar New Year things. So like meet some characters. I really want to get the magic key holder pin / button thing that they have right now. There's also some merch that I really want to check out. There's also a Lunar New Year wishing wall. So it's like these little papers that they have that are Lunar New Year themed, and you can write like your wish for the new year. So I want to go ahead and see that, put up a couple wishes. And also they have people that are doing calligraphy. So you can go ahead and wait in line for the calligraphy artist, ask for a special, thing to be made for you in calligraphy. And then that's a little take home keepsake that you get to have. So I'm really looking forward to that. I love a little takeaway keepsake, something that's unique and special to certain events. So I'm really looking forward to that. And having the little calligraphy art. So that's going to be kind of the morning / early part of the day for us. I'm sure I will probably be ready for a nap. Just to be completely transparent, I will probably need a nap most days of our trip because I do love a nap. I really do. So my thought is that if I go back to the hotel to take a nap, my hubby can go ahead and continue hanging out. He really is not one to take naps at all. So he will probably go and do like some pin trading or walking around and exploring on his own and kind of see some things that he wants to look at. So our plan for the evening for this day is to go to Blue Bayou. We have a dinner reservation. So that is one reason why I want to take a break at the hotel so that I can change and put on a cute little dress for Blue Bayou and go have dinner there together. So that will be like our date night dinner, and really looking forward to that. We honestly may be pretty full from the day from having like snacks and trying things for the Lunar New Year festival. And so this may end up being like not necessarily a full-blown dinner, but more of like appetizers and dessert, or, sharing something at Blue Bayou. We're totally open to that as well. So whatever that looks like throughout that dinner, just depending on how full we are, honestly, or how hungry we are, honestly, we'll see. We'll see what the evening holds for us. But that is our plan, to go to Blue Bayou and enjoy Disneyland in the evening. So that will be the end of day 3 for us. All right, now on to day 4, which is our final day. So this day we will be heading home, but before that, we are planning to go back to Disneyland for the day. I really am going to focus us primarily on doing things that we missed on our last, like our full Disneyland day. And then if we didn't get anything like the night before, we really want to go to, and either rides we want to get on, any characters we want to meet. I especially want to make sure my husband has had enough time to do like some pin trading and look at some good boards. and also to grab some souvenirs. If we saw something that we liked but didn't grab it throughout the last few days, then we'll be able to prioritize that and make sure we get some good souvenirs. This will be the time that we also go ahead and buy like snacks for the kiddos. They both have put in their orders of what they want us to bring back for them, so we'll make sure to get those things. And then our flight is in the early evening, so we'll kind of be heading home basically around the same time as when we arrived on day 1 is when we'll head home. So around like 5:36 is our flight, and then we'll be home. So I'm really looking forward to our trip, super excited, and really looking forward to just like a couples trip and time away. It's always so different going to the parks without the kiddos, but it's gonna be really fun, and I'm so looking forward to doing 2 new things, having 2 new event kind of moments that we've been looking forward to, and seeing what all there is to see at both Lunar New Year and at Sweethearts Night. So that is going to be our itinerary for our trip. Again, I'm just so excited, so ready, and honestly, I need to get packing and get all of our stuff ready to go so that we can head out and have a great date weekend. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and talking through the itinerary with me. Let me know if you have any recommendations or like things that you'd like to see from the Lunar New Year Festival or from Sweethearts Night, and I will be sure to include those in the vlogs and share those with you guys when we come back. Thanks for watching, friends. I will see you soon. Bye.